Good morning, good afternoon to all of you. I'm just going through the list of participants. Yeah, I can recognize some of you from yesterday. How many are we? 31. So it's quite a few missing, isn't it? Adiba from yesterday.
Yes, but hopefully they should join the next couple.
Okay, shall I start then, or shall I give a couple more minutes to maybe the
Please do start because we are recording the workshop. So if anyone misses first half,
okay.
they can just.
Okay, so that's fair enough. So whoever's missed it, they can hear it. I don't know. Sometimes I was listening to podcasts on the train on the way, but lately I decided to be present in whatever I do. So, I think it's about attitude of life here. Hello, I'm Gerald Arizala from Philippines. Let's connect. Good morning, Gerald. Yes, definitely. Do you mind sending me your LinkedIn on my email, please? Because I don't think I will have access to this at the end of this workshop, so I will miss your link. So please drop me a line with the link, and we're definitely going to connect on LinkedIn. Thank you. So yesterday we've done the foundation, perhaps, or the sorts of the landscape of international criminal law, and indeed was quite was very very on the surface. But here we are continuing on how to become an international lawyer, and I think one of the questions that a lot of when you start, or even not just at the starting point, even when lawyers are switching careers, or even if they are in a different career and they decide uh, to go into international criminal law, the question is, do I start with my domestic practice, but how do I switch it to become international, or can I go straight in being international, doing international criminal law? And So this is the question I just want to explore with you. And the thing is that there isn't a right or wrong way of approaching it, but I want to give you ways to increase your chances and possibilities to be able to enter this field, have a good flow of work, earn money from what you do. And I believe it is beautiful in our lives when we do what we're passionate and we love, and is able to provide us with quality life. And I'm also going to highlight the hurdles that you will have to overcome, because international criminal law and practicing, and we're going to get into that as well. What does it mean practicing international criminal law and non-practicing international criminal law? It is two separate matters, but there is an intersection. And I'm going to give you what options you have. And this is a path of law that it's a bit unorthodox. There isn't really a manual out there. So here I am trying to break it down for you about how to become one. So as I said, so it's also about how to build a sustainable career once you get there. Now, in my view, the answer is that you've got to begin with your domestic practice. That does not mean that it is impossible to start in international criminal law. It is possible. For example, I know quite lots of colleagues that they begin as interns or legal assistants with a defense team, or with a legal representation, a victim representation team. And quite often, as they start with either as an intern or assistant with a defense team, assisting with the legal research, the reviewing evidence, drafting filings, supporting witness preparation. So they get into that atmosphere and environment that they get to know and connect with the team. So what happens is that they will remain with that team throughout the duration of the case. For example, the Sudan case, the Abderrahman I limb, it lasted for about 2 years. So this is 2 years connecting with the people that they do practice international criminal law. So this is indeed a valid path. But the thing is that with interns or legal assistants, most of the times it is unpaid. And that is the problem. And I think the United Nations, and when I was in the International ICCBA, the International Criminal Courts Bar Association, yes. So ICCBA, International Criminal Court Bar Association, because we do have a bar for the practicing lawyers. This was an issue that we dealt extensively. And we've been successful actually in the team that I was elected on 2 things. The first one was interns to be paid. But again, it's based on each team, on what money they have available, whether it is with legal aid, whether it is if you're in the defense team, it may be privately funded. So that really makes a difference. And the second success that I had in my 2 terms in the ICCBA was to recognize maternity leave for external counsels. And actually one of the criminal lawyers that she was in the committee, she was actually pregnant, and she was one of the first ones to be granted paid maternity leave, working as an external counsel with the ICC. And we're going to get into the different levels of law, not levels, but how can you approach the ICC. But I just want us to focus now about domestic and international. So going straight to international with the example that I just gave you, it is a valid pathway. However, we must look at the structural reality of the international courts. If actually, I would like to put the ICC's website on. And is that possible to do it? I have it. Let me tell you on which slide I have that link. Yeah, so if you go to slide 22, please, Patricia. And yes, thank you very much. If you click on that link.
Very good, Diana.
Yes, can you scroll down a bit? I think this is okay, if you can just pause there. Excellent. Can I just have a thumbs up maybe in the chat box if you can see? It is the first page of the ICC's website. Excellent. Now, as you can see there are currently 32. I can't see. Let me just put it on actually on my laptop. I just want you to see actually the numbers here. I think it's quite important. So we've got 32 defendants at large, 74 defendants. There are 34 cases, so about 34 cases, live cases. Currently 12 cases that there are in the preliminary examination, 5 investigations that they've been concluded, and preliminary examinations. And can I ask, do you think with the number of cases, this is the permanent court that we have, as we discussed yesterday, do you think that it has a limited number of cases, or do you think by looking at this number, it is somehow of enough cases to absorb the international criminal lawyers? So if it's yes, you think it's enough cases, say yes. If you feel that is not enough cases, if you can just type no. And the number I think you should perhaps concentrate is that 34 cases really, because the preliminary examinations and investigations, it kind of lies on the on the court. So your role will be triggered once the case becomes live. Here's the loop. Let me just get into the chat. No, they're not. Unfortunately, there are not enough cases. Okay, I like when we've got something. I wanted to say yes because the lower means lower violations. That's actually a very different way of approaching it, Jasper, with the question they've asked, and I really like the way you're approaching it. Absolutely. It means lower violations, but does it mean lower violations at the end? I mean, we do have violations, but the threshold, especially for the ICC, it's quite high up, as we've seen the crimes that we're dealing with. And of course, the complementarity principle. And of course, we're going to go through the other courts as well. So you've got the ad hoc regional courts. But just looking at the ICC, which is somehow the thing that's linked with practicing international criminal law, again, and you're right, I like your attitudes there. The reality is that 34 cases, it's not enough cases to think that you will have a good flow of work. So it can't be compared with the volume of cases moving daily through a domestic criminal system. So what I've seen is that a lot, I would say in the UK, not in Cyprus as much. So I'm not sure whether as well the environment in your country, whether it gives you the opportunity. But in UK, you would have your daily flow of criminal cases, which it does feed into your criminal justice understanding and on an international level, although there's different rules and evidence law. But the principle, I guess, the way of thinking, the legal thinking is there. So you would, the way to do this is perhaps if you start domestic with the criminal justice system, have a good flow of cases. And international cases are lengthy. So even what we just said, that it can withstand, which was 2 years, there is still an arrest warrant against Omar al-Bashir. So that would need to be dealt, if it's ever dealt with. And then you've got the reparations. Currently, there is the appeal process. So it takes a lot of time. So they can last for years, but they are definitive. And when the case concludes, the legal teams often dissolve, or what they do, they also restructure. So there is an endless stream of new trials in the same way that you'll find in the domestic criminal courts. And in my view, this is where domestic experience is not just useful, but also foundational. And we're going to go through this bit, why it will be foundational. And domestic criminal practice, and I can appreciate that sometimes, for example, in Cyprus, it will be harder for me to choose and say that it's only crime because the population is less, so there isn't that many cases. So the lawyer ends up doing different areas of law. So there's no sense of specialization here. But practicing in the UK or with the lawyers that worked in The Hague, you don't just get experts on an aspect, but also within that aspect in a very niche point, which is very helpful because you really dive into the detail of it. So again, you have to embrace the elements that you have around you and just move around it. So domestic criminal practice will provide you continuity. It will provide you with repetition. It will provide you also with procedural fluency. And I can't stress that enough. You may have a case and you're thinking that based on substantial law, you will win it, and you may end up losing it just merely because of the procedural rules. So you will learn through your domestic practice about the application process, of course, the element of advocacy, cross-examination, trial management. And those skills in your criminal justice, it will be transferable. And not just with criminal law. It may well be that you can extract from whatever you're doing now. And we all work as well to make, to provide ourselves with an income. So make sure that whatever you're doing now, whatever job you're working on now, you must be able to extract from it the relevance that you would want, and we're going to go through that when you apply to be in the list of councils for the ICC, the higher courts, and together we're going to make a strategic plan as to what you need to do. So the skills are transferable. So the ability to identify what you do now and transfer it into the international criminal proceedings. And because the ICC, the litigation, but also the process, they are pretty sophisticated, and they involve quite an extensive pre-trial litigation. So you will see there is the preliminary examination, there is the investigation part, preliminary examination, then you've got the confirmation of charges. So there is a lot of pre-trial matters, which requires a lot of litigation. And of course, a great aspect of it, I think one of the biggest aspects of it, is disclosure, admissibility, jurisdiction arguments, and it can take up a lot of the trial time dealing with this. So that's why you would have the pre-review or the review meetings and hearings with the court at the ICC to narrow those issues down. And even in domestic courts, you would have the pre-trial review at the Crown Court. At the magistrates, because it's the lower crime court, you don't really do that. But what we do, we complete the PET form. And the PET form is when we set out the witnesses and if there is any issue with the admissibility or the evidence that we rely on. So all these, the procedure aspect of it is quite important, and you'll be able to get that from your domestic practice. Oh yes, so the domestic system. So for example, I've seen a lot of you're from Philippines. I think the majority of you are in Philippines, but I also saw India, Pakistan. I'm not sure if I've seen Afghanistan as well. So make use of what you have in your domestic practice, because that will give you the volume, but international law will give you the scale. And I think it is harder to enter the field. So once you've entered the field, you will be able to continue within that field. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to build your entire professional identity around, initially from a case, an international case. And from that, whilst having your domestic practice, your criminal foundation, you will be able then to move that and switch that to an international practice. So when it comes into domestic practice, what I would say is cherish it, develop it, and pursue it intentionally. And I've seen the jurisdictions, but I know some of you, you've got your practicing certificate. But is any of you, and if you can just let me know, do you practice law now? So I just want to see who of you are practicing law. And if you say yes, just put next to it the numbers of years that you've been practicing. So for example, if you got your license, okay, fine. Even with your training, yes. Private practice, 4 years. Wow, 10 years. Student. So we've got very diverse, 16 years. Wow, who's Jim May in government, more than 15 years. Yes, private practice and public prosecutor for 1 year. Okay, so for those of you that you've been practicing, and perhaps we can do that now. No, let's go through this flow of the way that's structured. I think it's easier when we build on certain points, and we're going to get there. Okay, so perhaps this will be a good point now then to let me just see which PowerPoint are we on, shall we? Yes, okay, let's move now into the 23rd slide, which is practicing and non-practicing international criminal lawyer. Yes, the one before, yeah. So there are two ways you can approach international criminal law. The one of it is it's where you are practicing it. And what does practicing mean? It means that you are going ahead with exercising reserved legal activities. So as I've seen a lot of you, you've been practicing for some time. For example, if you're an in-house lawyer, and you don't have your license renewed, then you can't attend the court, or you can't file pleadings, or you can't sign them. So a practicing international lawyer is someone who is actively involved in the legal work related to international crimes. And these lawyers, they will represent defendants or victims, or sometimes assist the prosecutors as an external counsel, although most of the times he will be recruited by the ICC or the international courts or tribunals. And practicing lawyers, their work involve cases, as we said, concerning genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and the crime of aggression. It means that you're in the courtroom. I don't know if you watch live stream cases at the ICC. If you do live stream them, I think there is a delay of only, I think 20 minutes when they stream it. But if you do watch live there and then, just let me know. I'm always curious because most of the times, if I watch it live, I see like a few people watching it. And I'm just wondering whether I'm the only one. But if you do watch live ICC, I would like, yes, always, there we are. So I must have seen you then in YouTube somewhere. It's great, and just have it in the background just to hear the arguments. Yeah, it's loads of viewers as well from, yeah, absolutely. From the views. The experience is also necessary, since for ICC at least requires 10 years to be in a credit council. Yes, we're going to go through this now, Jasper. Yes, I just wanted to, great point actually that you're making, Jasper. And we're going to go through now. This is going to be the kind of the entirety of today's workshop. We're going to go through the websites. We're going to set the strategic plan together of how you can start doing the actual ICL work. Yes. Yeah, we're going to go with the other forums as well. Absolutely. I just want to clarify, because I find it very important for you to... oh, don't worry. No, I know. I mean, it's what we've learned at law school, isn't it? We always got to state the obvious. That's what they say. Even if it's very simple, it makes everything a lot easier. No, but feel free, as I said, those 3 hours are for you and only for you, to make sure that we get this right. So we were now on practicing and non-practicing international criminal lawyers. And so to practice international criminal law means that you hold a valid practicing certificate or license from your home jurisdiction. And you may be well aware that you may have your home jurisdiction, but you can also cross-qualify. And there is always that option of cross-qualification. And I'm curious to know whether any of you have cross-qualified in other jurisdictions. So for those that you said you're currently practicing, do you hold one practicing certificate, or have you also cross-qualified in different jurisdictions? If you do say yes, I would like to know whether in which country you've cross-qualified. I personally, I'm a lawyer in Cyprus, and I've cross-qualified in the UK, and also I'm in the list of counsels. Of assistant to counsel at the ICC. But there is a lot more that we're going to go through that. But the practicing international criminal lawyer, it is in the essence the same thing that what you would have in your home jurisdiction. So qualifies only Philippines, Philippines only, and Ethiopia. Yes, so you are qualified, let's say, Guinea in Ethiopia, so that would give you the right to serve or to practice the reserved legal activities in your home jurisdiction. So though this right is only restricted to your own jurisdiction. And that's why we have to, for all lawyers, we have to cross-qualify, or sometimes if we need to appear, I would say, in a European court, we either instruct a different counsel or we get a temporary license. Planning for the New York bar or the CA bar, but still plans as of now. Yes. I was debating actually whether to include that into the presentation, but I'm going to make a note about it, and we can discuss about the cross-qualification and the New York bar. Is the CA the California bar you're referring to, Jasper? I have license in India and foreign lawyer license in the UK, but non-practicing. Oh, nice. Shavi, do you have the foreign lawyer license? Is that with the Bar Council, with the SRA, the Solicitor Regulation Authority? Yes, California. Yeah. I mean, those are the two bars that are quite popular. The New York and the... With the SRA, yes? Okay. Now, non-practicing lawyers, on the other hand, is someone who you may well be trained and you may be very educated and knowledgeable in international criminal law, but does not hold a practicing certificate and does not actively represent the clients in the court. So you will not be the person who will stand in the courtroom and to cross-examine. You won't be able to sign for the submissions that they made. Instead, the work in areas such as academia, research, policy development, advisory roles, sometimes even as amicus curiae. It is the way as a non-practicing lawyer. Now, if you're a practicing international criminal lawyer, you are able to do a lot of the non-practicing international criminal lawyers work, but that won't switch vice versa. So the key difference between a practicing and non-practicing international criminal lawyer is in essence the authorization to practice in your home jurisdiction. And if you are going to be practicing, let's say, at the Kosovo chamber or the extraordinary chambers of Cambodia, or I don't know, Sierra Leone, or the mechanism, then it's whether you are in the list of counsel or assistant to counsel in that particular tribunal or court or international tribunal. So the key difference between practicing and non-practicing, it is your practicing certificate, the authorization in essence that you have from your regulator. So for those that you are practicing already and you do have your valid practicing certificate, then you will have the right to do the process that we're just going to discuss now. For those that you do not have the practicing certificate or you're still studying, then you would want to create a plan for the next years of how you're going to make it happen. So there's going to be some sort of a time frame. And I always find it very helpful if you create some sort of a vision board that would allow you, because we're going to see there's going to be a lot of dates and a lot of different things that we're going to go through. So it's good to put it and to organize it so you don't feel overwhelmed. So that's about the practicing and non-practicing. So we've done all that, and I think so far it must be quite clear, and I think we've got the right foundation now to move on to the next. Now, if I can please go to slide 24, the next one. Yeah. So if you can, so this is the list of counsel. So can you please click on the link? There's a link there. Excellent. Yes. So this is the guide for applicants to the ICC list of counsel and assistants to counsel. So to appear before the ICC, you have, as a defense or as a victim's legal representative, you must be admitted to the list of counsel, which is maintained in the court's registry. So this process, and do you mind, Patricia, just scrolling a bit? I think I just need to see. I'm just going to click it here as well. It's hard for me to see something. Do you mind, all of you, just to type on your laptop the ICC, the guide, or if you go into the actually, if you just put ICC council list, it should give it to you. Yeah, if you just put ICC council list, you will be able to get it straight. And this is the English version. Okay. So it is 37 pages long. And if I can please ask you to scroll, I can see that some of you, you've mentioned that you've got like 10 years of experience. So if we go to page 7, so this is the application process for the list of counsel. And if you go to, I know it's more than 10 years. Yeah. Okay, no, so yeah, if you go to page 6, which is the admission criteria, the first point is the list of counsel. And it says, to be admitted to the list of counsel, candidates must meet the following requirements. And you've got the competence and the experience. And the candidates must have a minimum of 10 years of relevant experience in criminal proceedings as a judge, prosecutor, advocate, or in other similar capacity. So that's the point about the experience. So it's a minimum of 10 years. So it doesn't require the experience on its own to be international. So you should extract, as I said earlier, and that's the point that I wanted to make, extract from your domestic practice in demonstrating your experience. And I can give you an example of what I did when I applied. I mean, it's been a long time now, but I'm just going to use an example. I think it was in Cypriot court, and it was a civil matter, but it was a civil matter, but an aspect of that civil matter, there was that it was kind of in criminal proceedings. It was close to criminal proceedings, so I kind of used that because I cross-examined the witness, and so I've listed all the cases that there were criminal cases in my practice, and also something that it had an element of criminal law. And I've put that down. I've written it down to make sure as well that there is no infringement of personal information or that. But if most of the cases it's open to the public, so make sure always that you comply with that. That's a parenthesis, and I close the parenthesis. And by taking all these cases to demonstrate my experience, I come in and say, actually, Cyprus is part of the common law country, and I've used as well the broader aspects of Cyprus, which is a part of a common law jurisdiction, that I did a bit of contract law and I end up using the Indian law, or for example, if it was a property, I used that particular area of law. So I'm just giving you a different way of how you can yourself take from your own experience to feed into what it means criminal proceedings. So your experience in criminal proceedings. And from there on, the aspect of competence, which says that candidates shall have proven competence and expertise in international or criminal law and procedure. You would need to identify, because it says also it's international or criminal law, but you would want to find something that has an international element to it. So you're going to have to think when you do the application. So there is that international element. And of course, you need to be fluent in English and French. Now, the list of assistants, if you go to point 2, it says 5 years of relevant experience in criminal proceedings. Lawyers who have insufficient experience to be admitted to the list of counsel can provide very useful assistance to counsel in preparing and presenting the case before the chamber. So what this means, because when I applied for it, it was sentenced differently. So they've changed this because they really do need young international criminal lawyers to help them with assisting and preparing and presenting the case before the chamber, the pre-trial chamber. So even if you have less than 5 years, please feel free to apply, because you can. Yes, it is said here, it is in the guidance. And you will see the second point about the competence, so the experience, as we said. So you would need the 5 years of experience, but even if you have less than that, you are encouraged to make that application. And it says that the court also seeks to allow counsel to receive the assistance of professors and other academic experts who have relevant expertise in international criminal law, even where these persons may have insufficient or no experience in criminal proceedings. Their theoretical knowledge of the relevant law and jurisprudence makes them an invaluable asset to legal teams. So if you, can I also say, just even those of you that you have more than 10 years of experience, on the premise of the list of assistants, where they encourage lawyers to apply to be in the list, which shows us the spirit of the ICC that really needs lawyers now. Feel free to demonstrate if you got lack of that particular experience, or how you can contribute if you got maybe more theoretical knowledge. And once you're in the list, and you can actually type and see who is in the list, and you will have the country. And I think they are giving so for example, I don't know if there is in Ethiopia. So for example, I had the option to choose Cyprus or UK, but I've chose Cyprus because we didn't have separate lawyers in the ICC assistant to counsel list. So if you've seen that your country, or you have an option to put another country, trying to give a heads up to your jurisdiction, your home jurisdiction. It's always very nice to see diversity in the list of counsels. And if you go to page 7, you will have the application process. And if I may say that the department of the ICC that deals with the application, my personal experience, they've been marvelous, and they've been very good, very, very swift, very quick. And you would get into the list, and that then would allow you to be instructed on cases, so you can appear before the court. If you have less than 10 years, then you will be assistant to counsel, so you will need to instruct another counsel to lead the case. For example, in the Sudan case, when I filed the applications, I think I had just about 5 years of experience, maybe even less than that. And then as the case kind of led towards the arrest of Abderrahman, I was initially led by Amar Clooney, and then so although I was there and I had the applications and my name was in the victims' applications, someone had to lead. So even if you are assistant to counsel, you would have to seek and find a counsel to lead the case. So I couldn't do that. And then after that, in that case, I think then Amar was appointed as an expert in the Darfur Committee, and then I was led by the German lawyer Natalie von Bangenhausen. And she's actually one of the greatest lawyers that dealt with universal jurisdiction in Germany for the cases of ISIS, and she also secured convictions on those cases. So, it's always amazing when you meet amazing people. They're literally rock stars in international criminal law. And you will see here the application process. Yes, so you would want to go through this. So this guidance that I gave you here, you need, not that I gave it to you, but the ICC gave it to you, but we're putting it here. You would want to read it. I always find it very helpful when I'm making applications to print it and highlight things. So if you like me, then you would want to do that maybe. But also I want to highlight some other options that there is available at the ICC, and that will be in page 10 of the guidance. So if you can please, Patricia, turn to page 10. And can I have thumbs up from you if you can see the point here which says ad hoc counsel? So it says here, and we can read this together, a chamber can appoint ad hoc counsel to represent the general interest of the defense, where there is a unique opportunity to take testimony, a statement from a witness, or to examine, collect, or test the evidence which may not be available subsequently for the purposes of the trial. Finally, where the interests of justice so require. This type of appointment is especially relevant where there is no person charged, but investigative activities are being carried out by the prosecutor. In particular, where victims applied to participate in the proceedings at this preliminary investigation stage. The mandates of ad hoc counsel are limited in time and scope and have a clear purpose in the context of a situation or case under the jurisdiction of the court. So when you enroll in the list, yes, you can also be an ad hoc counsel. So you will be given very particular instructions as to what you're going to need to do, especially at the pre-trial stage. And I will show you techniques how you can keep an eye on it about these opportunities. And if we turn now to page 11, which is the next page. Page 11. Yes. And so paragraph 3 mentions a duty counsel. I don't know in your jurisdictions if you have duty counsel, but definitely in Cyprus and in the UK, we do have duty counsels in criminal courts, and I suspect that most of criminal courts will have duty counsels. And I quote from the guidance which says, where any person requires urgent legal assistance and has not yet secured legal assistance, or where he or her counsel is unavailable, the registrar can appoint duty counsel. And it goes on to say that duty counsel can be appointed in various circumstances, including at the initial appearance, to assist persons being interviewed in the field by the Office of the Prosecutor in accordance with Article 55.2 of the Rome Statute, where counsel has not yet appointed, or counsel has withdrawn or has been taken off case and no replacement counsel has yet been appointed. So there is also this option being in the duty counsel. So once you're in the list and you wish, the thing is that if you would be a duty counsel, I think it may well require some sort of a physical presence at The Hague, because once the person is arrested, but not always and not necessarily. So you will need to keep an eye on the, just keep an eye on the development. So for the duty counsel. And finally, there is point 4, other instances where counsel are appointed. And a chamber of the court can appoint counsel where the interests of justice so require. So this power includes the possibility of appointing counsel for uncooperative accused to ensure the person benefits from adequate legal representation. So this is more of a miscellaneous, so there could be other instances that you can be appointed. Now, this is what the ICC provides you, but you will have to apply for it. and you will have to complete the application. Make sure that you got a second pair of eyes, and give time when you do draft. Although the questions, they're very simple. What is your criminal law experience? What is your international criminal law experience? Take the initiative and elaborate and make it very nice, clear, and concise. I always find it very helpful when you have your case, what you did, and how is that relevant. So actually, if I do find my application, I can share it with you, but I have to send it to Patricia. But that's fine. I will see how it goes. But I also want to make you aware about another element of it. So if you turn to page 13. So 13, and this is about payment. I think this is the legal aid one, is it? Yeah, okay. So although I said page 13, as you can see from page 12, the remuneration and support, so it follows from the legally aided system of the court. So this is legal aid. So this does not apply to private. So there will be different fees, and I think you're going to have to figure out what your fees are. And I don't know if it's hourly rate or I mean, there is different ways and structuring your payment. But I just want to give you an indication. If, for example, the Stein case, it was legally aided, although I did it for, I would say, 5 years pro bono. Yes, I'm one of those counsellors that did a lot of pro bono in my life. I don't know if you did it. If you did a lot of pro bono, I would like to see a thumbs up. I'm not alone. Yes. Yes, so let's see at the fees here. So counsel, so that means if you are the lead counsel, it says counsel and team members receive remuneration on the basis of a predetermined lump sum, and the fees of the team members are fixed according to the salary similar category. So this is the monthly remuneration, although the team will actually get a lump sum. So it will be the lead counsel that will receive that lump sum. And they will have to file the necessary documentation and compensation, all that. So counsel would get 10,000, so it's nearly 11,000 per month. Associate counsel will be nearly 9,000. Then you have a legal assistant and a case manager. Which is not bad, and you also have investigation and other expenses. So the current budget for investigations, it is 73,000 per team. So you have about 73,000 per team for the investigation. So when we talk about investigation, for example, the victims team, you will have to liaise with your witnesses. You may have the witness statement, but you're going to have to follow up, and maybe you need an intermediary on the ground to speak and meet with them to arrange for location, security, secure platforms to discuss. And so all those things will be part of the investigation. And actually 73,000, it does fly by fairly quickly. If you just think about the platforms that you be using to have a secure ways to communicate. And there are a lot more issues. And if I can just mention an additional one, for example, with Sudan, because there were remote areas, there was no internet connection. So how would it be possible for us to communicate with the witness, with the victims, to prepare through the intermediary their testimony? So we would also had to secure portable ways to have communication with them, to have internet connection, but also secure locations, because there was a security issues if the Janjaweed would find out that they were due to give a testimony to the ICC. So there, as you may appreciate, there are many things involved. So 73,000 does fly by fairly quickly. And there's also 4,000 per month on the, what is it? I think it's travel expenses, is it? Yes, so it's travel expenses. Please do go through and read this. Oh, yes, it does have a sample. Yeah, I do remember it was a sample. So if you go to page 16, you will see a sample of the application. So, Patricia, if you can please, yes, there you are. So this is the application. So if you want to go through this application and then just look at it, and if you have any questions, make a note or drop me a text, and we can discuss it. It's the best way to approach it. And that will require as well the originals to attach in it. So you have both of the list of assistants to counsel and counsel. I just want to see the chat if there's any questions here. Yes, are there fees to apply as an accredited counsel assistant, or we just need to mail in the requirements as per instruction? Are there fees to apply? Oh, you mean if you've got to pay something to apply? No, I think it's for free. No, you don't need to pay anything. Because I know that some universities, if you want to apply for PhD, you've got to pay a fee. But I didn't come across that. I mean, applying oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, maybe, but not in this case, actually. Yes, it would make sense, but no, Jasper, there is no fee to be paid. As far as I'm aware, shall we just check the rules here? I don't think so. I didn't pay anything, most definitely. And to be frank with you, I think the ICC wants to really encourage lawyers to sign up for it. So I don't think they will ask anything. So this is the ICC guidance, and I know it's due for us to have the break, but I just want another 10 minutes before the break because I just want to finish this part here, which is quite important. There is an additional thing here with the ICC, and it's called amicus curiae. So I don't know if you know about it. If you do know about amicus curiae, can I have thumbs up? If not, just want to see the thumbs up that will come up now. So if you got a PhD or you specialize in something, you would want to make the court aware that you can, I don't know, what was it? I think a colleague of mine, I think it was at the ICJ about climate change, and was it the Armenian government that brought a case? I don't remember now, but he was an amicus curiae, and he was able to provide an expert advice about it. So sometimes you are called. So if you're an expertise in something, you've got to make the court aware, or your state will need to appoint in the case of the ICJ. But for the ICC, you can actually get to them directly. And yes, so what else you can do with the ICC? And can I please ask you, Patricia, to go back to the ICC's website? And if you go on the very top and you click situation and cases, and if you can click on, let's do cases. Yes, click on case, and you have the first one, which is the case I was referring to, Abderrahman. And if you click on Abderrahman on the very top, yep, thank you. And if you go scroll down, yes. So if you can pause there, please. So you will see the names of the trial chamber. So you can see the judges. You can see the office of the prosecutor, which you will always have the leading one, which is in this case Ken. I think he's been stepped down now because of some allegations of sexual assault. So I don't know now who is, but there is always someone to step in. So, and you can see there is the name of the deputy prosecutor. But as an external counsel, so the process that we just did now, so the guidance that we looked at, you are an external counsel. So you don't go through the equivalent of United Nations process. So you apply in the list and you are externally appointed in the cases. So the teams that will instruct you will be the defense one, as you can see, and the legal representative of victims. Okay, so you can see here 3 names. What you would want to do is, and this is the 4th exercise that I will ask you to do. The 4th exercise is this, that you go through all 34 live cases, and you identify the counsels, and then you follow them on LinkedIn. And I think, and for example, so you follow them on LinkedIn, and then very often what they do, they post on LinkedIn because they're external, so they can't really ask for the ICC to help them to recruit for the team. And a lot of times there's a lot of things happening, so they do require them quite urgently to help. So what you can do is that follow them on LinkedIn, and you will be surprised from what you're going to get. And so there is one thing, though, for both defense and legal representatives, is that you don't get to see the legal assistants. So the legal assistants and the kind of the deputy, so the legal assistants and assistant to counsel, we are not named. And that's another issue that myself actually raised at the ICCBA, that to be able, let's say you've got 10 years of experience, to be recognized. And a lot of times we do pro bono work to be able to conceptualize an international profile. The least that can actually be done is for our name to appear on the pleadings, because what that does, it provides visibility, it provides recognition, which is what you want at the early steps of your career. I was unsuccessful in my attempts, and I didn't continue with my terms in the ICCBA. But this is something that, as soon as you're in the list of counsel, it allows you to run for the elections of the ICCBA. If you do that, it will give you access to a huge network worldwide. And so another thing that you will want down, and perhaps Adiba, if you can send that over on the link, which is the International Criminal Court Bar Association, so ICCBA, and you can follow up that. And you would also want to identify the legal assistance of all these teams to be aware as to what opportunities they're coming up. And I just want to see if we've got any questions. So we've got 1 question. So Shavi is asking us 1 question. So I perhaps can answer this one, and we can have a comfort break, because there's a few more things I want to highlight here. So the case manager handles the research and manages the evidentiary aspects of judicial proceedings. They require 2 years of experience. Is having relevant ICO experience enough, or do we need litigation experience? Shavi, do you mean, so I understand it's for the assistant to counsel? So I think, so I am not the one who's going to make the decision. But I suspect, with what I read from the guidance, and my view on this is that even though if you don't have litigation experience, and by reading the guidance at page 6, Shavi, of the guidance, which says that lawyers who have insufficient experience to be admitted to the list of counsel can provide very useful assistance to counsel in preparing and presenting the case before the chamber. And I think we've gone through as well the competence part. So I believe that even if you don't have litigation experience, if you've got theoretical knowledge, which is what it says in the penultimate sentence of page 6, I think that you could apply and give it a try. We've got another question, Anavi. Is the work done online, or do the people involved have to meet face to face? That's an excellent question. So a lot of work is done online, but there will be days that you have to attend court, especially if the case is live. So I think with external counsels, you will be instructed once it becomes live. So you would have the meetings, but you would have to attend court on the days that the case has been listed, and this is agreed well in advance. So there will be a requirement of physical presence, and yes, so that's another factor. So if we're talking about the ICC, so the Hague, so you will have to go there. But as we said, if you got the legal aid, then there is money for your transportation, given that council, the lead council that deals with the budget, let's say is prepared to cover those costs, because I think they do look sometimes where you are, where you're based, and all those practicalities. Collins, I came a bit late, no worries. I don't know if nationality is a requirement. For example, state parties to the Rome Statute requirements to apply. Yes, so I don't think it matters whether whether your country, the home jurisdiction of your country is a Rome Statute country. I think what matters is that you are a lawyer who is interested to be admitted in the list of the ICC councils, external councils. So your nationality, and most importantly, your home jurisdiction, is irrelevant whether it's in the Rome Statute. But what you want to have, it's an up-to-date practicing certificate. So you would need that. Okay, shall we have a 10-minute comfort break, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to look into more things. So this is where it's going to start getting very detailed. But if you got any questions, and then I'm going to try to leave the last maybe hour to hear from you, and maybe give you personalized tips about how to pursue it. So I'm kind of mindful about all these things, but let's see how it's going to go. So we shall be back in 10 minutes then. So yes, so 12:15 will be in my end here. Okay, 10 minutes. Thank you. Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Okay. So we just gone through the guidance of the ICC's guidance, and we've seen how you can have been external counsel. Now there is similar process for. Do you know yesterday I gave you a list of the hybrid courts. I gave you a list of the ad hoc. Of the ad hoc tribunals. So what you would want to do, and this will be the fifth exercise, is that you're going to go through the website. Not all of them. There will be actively seeking for counsels, but for example, Kosovo Chamber. I know that they're looking for external counsels for the defense team some time ago. So you would want to be in the list of the Kosovo Chambers to be in the defense team or in the victims team. So the fifth exercise that you got to do after this is to take the ad hoc tribunals or the ad hoc tribunals, and then just go to the website and apply to be in the list. So each of those courts, they have their own list. So you'd want to do that to maximize your chances. It is time consuming, and it may well be that you decide which ones you want to go for and whether it is in your interest. So this is a personal choice that you're going to make. For example, I wanted to be in the Kosovo Chambers, but with time and whatever life throws at you, sometimes you don't have the time to do it. So you're going to have to make, this is the kind of the personal choices that we all make. But if you're actively seeking, I mean, this is the options that you do have before you. And also maybe, I don't know if you, I mean, and also if you are, I don't know if any of you is a judge in your own jurisdiction, but if you are, you can ask to shadow, or for example, the ICJ has some, not that very often, but they do have some vacancies. So again, it will be something equivalent to the United Nations. There is the Arbitration Academy next to it. So arbitration and other alternative disputes for human rights and the state parties disputes that they may have. And of course, the ICJ, because we're dealing with litigation, which is state versus state, councils will be instructed from the state parties. Yes, and this is something I also have in the book at the end. I curated a list of NGOs that I mean, it's not an exhaustive list. It's a starting point, a list of human rights organizations that one may be able to find international criminal law experience. So, and I can name a few of you, and you may even know about them. There's the Grotius Center, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the Equality and Human Rights Commission. You've got the Freedom from Torture. You got the International Bar Association. You've got the Commonwealth Lawyers Association. You've got Redress, Anti-Slavery International, the Center for Women's Justice, Article 19. I mean, it is absolutely the Bar Human Rights Committee of England and Wales. It's an endless. So again, you will have to follow those organizations, because they will be most of the times, as a practicing international criminal lawyer, you will be instructed from an NGO mainly to say to you, for example, I've got, I don't know, 200 victim applications, and we think it should be filed with the ICC, and you will help them to do that. For example, the Hijab Foundation, for the girl Hijab, who was 6-year-old, and there were 300 something bullets that she was shot by the state of Israel. I mean, for example, this is another foundation that they were actually sitting on evidence, so they will need assistance from an external counsel of the ICC to file this application. So what you would want to do is to file those, to follow those NGOs and you can always reach out to them, which is what I do as well till today. If it's a cause that it's close to my heart, and I think that I can contribute. So the NGOs is another one, and of course those the standard ones, the Interpol, Europol, which has to do with legal notice. So it's more of a non-practicing aspect of it, but again, it gives a great experience. And there is so I know I said too many things, but if you want me to just say it a bit slower for you to make notes, I didn't write it on the PowerPoint slides, but let me know, because I want you to leave from here having a real stuff before you to start doing the work. And there is another aspect, which actually was, so when I finished the book, I had a friend of mine, he's a professor of University of Essex, so he came to Cyprus and we're discussing. So I showed him the book and he said to me, "You missed one point." I said, "Which one?" "Of how to become an international criminal lawyer." And he's like, "You can become an international criminal lawyer through academia." So he's a professor himself, and so although he doesn't have a practicing certificate, he can still be appointed by the state who wish to appoint me in an ICJ matter. So that's like another interesting route. But again, he doesn't have the flow of work that he wished to. So it's more like a kind of an exceptional situation, but it's kind of the backslide of this the practicing and non-practicing aspects of it. And I'm going to give you now a case study. If you can please go, Patricia, can I just see which slide we are now? I think we've done 25.
Yes,
Let me
hold
see.
on, Diana. I'm sharing it. So sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, and yeah. So I've seen a comment as well, and I want to check with you that you are here in this workshop. Would you like us to have more time on personalized tips, and you hear from others as to how you can approach if yes, can I just have thumbs up just to see how to manage the time? Excellent. Okay. So what I propose then we do is that we do this case study that I've got, which again is going to give you a way of thinking as to how to approach international criminal career, and then we're going to go into hear from you, and then we're trying to figure out personalized tips. Oh yes, thank you. Yeah, so this is the case study. So I'm going to read it to you, and whilst I'm doing that, just I would like maybe to hear from you, really. So Alex is a young professional who's passionate about both building a successful legal career and supporting social justice causes. One day, Alex received invitations to two important events that are scheduled at the same time. The first event is a lawyers' networking reception organized by a professional legal association where experienced attorneys, law firm partners, and recruiters will attend. This event could help Alex make valuable professional connections, learn about career opportunities, and gain mentorship that may support long-term career growth in the legal field. The second event is a gathering organized by a human rights group where activists and community leaders will meet to discuss ongoing campaigns and ways to support vulnerable communities. Attending this event would allow Alex to contribute to a meaningful social change, to engage with people who share the same values about justice and human rights. Since both events occur at the same time, Alex must choose only one to attend. In this situation, I won't say, did I put the answer to it? And it's the wrong answer. So I just put a suggestion there, but I gave you now the case study. And I would like actually someone to tell me And if you can come up in the window, tell me which of those two events would you attend and why? So the first one, it's a lawyers networking reception, and the other one, it's a it's a human rights activist essentially supporting a cause. So which one would you attend? So it's a long day after court, maybe, or law firm, and you have this event to, there's two events to attend to, but they're both at the same time. Which one would you go for? Shall I go first? Do you want me to, to tell you what I did, which is actually a real life scenario from my Jasper, do you want to come in actually? Is it possible to have Jasper to join? I don't know how we do it. I remember yesterday he wasn't Mohammed was able to.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes, good day, Diana. So for my
Alex.
side, since I'm actually new to the practice, I would choose the first one simply because I'd like to make sure that I would be ready should I go with the human rights, because the human rights discussion, as I understand, is also something that would be, if I would say, well, I wouldn't say it's niche, but definitely it will affect more lives than what I would expect to. And attacking something that I may not be ready as of the point would may cause more issues or concerns, especially to those to the victims relating to human rights. So that choice that I have made was the first one, at least to build up myself first prior to going to more deeper into human rights. Once I feel or once I think that I would be more ready to defend the people pertaining to the victims of the human rights.
Yeah, that's so you would go to the lawyers network event as a
Correct. Yeah.
yeah, okay. That's very nice. Thank you so much, Jasper. There was someone else who wanted to speak. Who was it?
Actually, Diana, they can just utilize the raise hand function if ever, or I think they can just unmute themselves at this point.
Um, yeah, you can just unmute yourself and I can't see hands, so just unmute yourself, turn on the camera. It's always nice to see a face and just tell us what you would do. Um, I would like to have 5 people to tell us what they would do. That would be interesting to see what's the direction that we're taking. Yes, Shanna. If I can ask you to pause there, you need to unmute yourself. I can't hear you. Yes. Hello, Shanna.
Hi. Good afternoon, Diana from the Philippines.
Good
Um,
afternoon.
I was able to listen to Jasper's insight, and I think for me, because I've been practicing for 3 years, I would like to focus more on attending the social justice events, simply because I want to also get acquainted with other people outside of the legal field. And I can surmise that there's going to be a lot more diverse people at a social justice event, whereas for a legal networking event, there will be multiple opportunities to get to know people in your network, especially if you work in government or if you work in a law firm, perhaps you're always going to be able to interact with other lawyers. And I think that social justice events are, at least in the Philippines, few and far in between. So I would definitely prioritize that.
No, thank you, Shanna. Thank you very, very much. I'm writing down 1 and 1. Okay. Let's see
Thank
what's.
you.
No, thank you, Shanna. Thank you. And who is next? I'm going to do what my daughters do all the time, hearts. Everywhere we go, they're giving hearts around. Anyone else wants to share their view? There is no right or wrong, but I will make a suggestion about it because this is something that I came across. Adiba, do we see hands? I can't see hands, so maybe there are no hands. Let me just scroll over the participants. So would you go to an event for lawyers, or would you go an event where human rights activists are? So that's the study that we're doing now. That's what we're looking into. So which one would you go for? To the lawyers event or to the human rights activists? It could be any course. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Well, Diana, there aren't any raised hands, but there are some answers in the comment section. If you want to
Thank you.
and acknowledge them, thank you so much. Oh, and then Charvi also raised her hand.
Yes, yes. Can I? Yes, Charlie, please. If you can unmute yourself. Yes, unmute yourself, and if you want to turn on the camera. Hello, Shavi. I don't know, what time is it in India?
It's 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Okay, so good time. So it's good afternoon to you then. Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
good afternoon to you as well.
Thank you very much.
I mean, what time is it there?
In Cyprus now, it is 12:30. In UK, it would be 10:30. So I'm working on 2 different time zones all the time. Yeah. But go ahead, Shavi. What do you think? Would you attend the lawyers event or would you attend the human rights activist event?
I think this is coming from my personal views, but I have attended a lot of human rights events already. And I've participated as a speaker in a lot of UN events as well. So I might as well choose the lawyers event because I would want to be learning a lot of cross-examination and other aspects. So it would be great to learn, basically.
Yes. You mean advocacy-wise, isn't it? Like to improve advocacy. Yeah. Okay. I'll make a point about that. Actually, that's a great point. Yeah. Thank you, Shavi. And let's see in the comments. Oh yeah, Jasper spoke to us. Shenna, human rights event. Personally, I would choose the human rights event. This is Kimmy. Not only can you network, but also can contribute something and demonstrate your skills. MC Patio, human rights event. Discussion is more focused, and I can see if there is a niche for me in their advocacy. And Mark says human rights events. So yes, absolutely, and there is no right or wrong, but this is an approach. So talking from personal experience, and I will give you details as well, is that, and if I can just clarify, Shavi, about the advocacy, and when we're talking about continuous professional development, for those matters, of course, there are constantly, seminars and workshops, and as lawyers, we've got to undertake them. And in the UK, when we renew our practicing certificate, we also have to identify, like you do in a business plan, our weaknesses and how we are proposing to address them in the year. So what kind of further courses will we take? I think I just renewed my practicing certificate, and what was it? So I identified, so because I'm doing international law, but there is a particular aspect of universal jurisdiction that I want to, deeper further. So I identified that, I wanted to undertake some seminars about particular issues, and you address them, and there is those specialized things that we do. So that's the right thing to do, and you should be doing it. But when it comes into, when we're talking about how to become an international criminal lawyer and how to get yourself cases, because it's not like you're in a law firm and the cases come in and there is the flow, except for very few chambers in London that they have that, or in New York, that there is that constant flow. So maybe if you are in those chambers, you may well have that flow of work. And I'm happy to name them. Actually, if you go to the Law Careers Net, you will be able, actually, yes, if we can send to all of you the website of Law Careers Net, that's going to be a great source of information, Law Careers Net. And you will see there is the list as well of chambers and solicitors firm and also information. So it will give you a good understanding as well about the pupillage process if you're interested about cross-qualifying in the UK. But I'm going to leave that. That's an entirely different topic about the bar in the UK. But most of the times, so as you advance your knowledge and as you advance your niche and your expertise, what happens is that eventually a state may come and instruct you if you're part of a team and all that. But at the very start, because you still have to enter the field, how are you going to do it? And that was a real question. So myself, I don't come from a family of lawyers or a family that, is kind of passing on to me certain cases or the network. So how do I come around it to be able to be trusted with such important cases? And that's when I realized, and actually I was in a lawyers event and I realized to myself, this lawyers event, when you have the cocktail drink and there is loads of lawyers and you're talking and they're asking you about the cases, I was like, they're not going to give me any cases. There's all of them waiting around for international work, and they're going to be the first one to jump and get it. So I need to go, and I wanted a different approach. So sometimes we have to determine the ways that we do things, and I didn't enjoy the way that they were pursuing international cases. So I attended actually myself a lot of human rights activists and connected with people, and they trusted me. And I want to share with you a very dear part of when I was connecting with the Sudanese diaspora, and I'm still today connected with them. And from there on, it followed. I did with the Afghanistan case, I did with Myanmar, the Rohingya, with Cyprus, and universal jurisdiction. With all these people that I met, the Sudanese diaspora, even today they would text me, and the way that they would greet me is this: to our sister, our mother, our commander, our dearest lawyer. And when we used to have Zoom meetings, they used to stand up and they all used to bow. And I never felt, and I bow to them actually, because of the great strength that they showed and the fact that despite of the atrocities that they've experienced, they were able to speak up, and not just to speak up what happened to them, but to speak up for peace, for acceptance, and to move on with their lives, despite the PTSDs that they're going through and the trauma and the damages that it is. You can see it on the bodies, but you can't see them in their soul. So, because I think whatever we do as well, and that's why I said this job is charging you in all sorts of ways. And as I said, I never feel that the time when I do my work, it just goes past, and there is no such a thing as clock ticking. There is a pause. I just realize after some time, I need to pick up my daughters now. And I think it's a blessing in our lives to do that. So I've been able to do it because I've identified that perhaps the best way is to go and speak to the activist. And it started with Hassan, who's actually one who waived as well confidentiality in giving his testimony at the ICC. And it's you can see it as well in the ICC's website, his testimony. And although I said it to him a number of times, do not mention my name, he said it 3-4 times. And it's just listening and be prepared. And I forgot your name, sorry. So the first one who said about going to the lawyers event and getting your experience or gathering with other lawyers. I don't think they will give you, especially if it's an international case. I don't think they will, especially if you are at the start. They're not just going to give it to you. unless, and that's the thing, this is the business part, isn't it? Because no matter what happens, and this is the very delicate balance, is that law firm, it's a business. So how do you maintain that whilst pursuing the causes that are deep into your heart? So for me, being a barrister, self-employed barrister, I mean, for many years in my life, there was that stretch between my domestic practice and managing my international practice at the same time. And it's years of my life that I decided to dedicate it and shifted my existence beyond my own self. So I've been able to see life through the lens of other lives and understand how privileged I am actually many times. The fact that I am here today speaking to you freely, freedom of expression, but most importantly, as we can see the world that we're living now, I am not bombed or I'm not detained unlawfully or arbitrary. So I don't take any of those things lightly. And one of the greatest things that you will experience with international criminal law, it is, and that's something else that nobody tells you, is ultimately it's the connections that you make with people. And because of the connection, people will seek you, people will come to you, because we are living in times that a lot of times people are afraid to speak the truth, which is sometimes it is a blatant legal application on certain things. But there is a fear because of the power, because of politics. But we need people, and that's why I said we really need you to speak up. And sometimes I've had clients that, human rights activists, that they've been tortured, they've lost members of the family, and some of them passed away. But I've been very privileged to know them in my life. And I'm 37, so I feel that I lived many lives through my clients, and you would not get that from other lawyers, and that is the thing, through human rights activists. But then because, and this is another a pragmatic scope of it, because there are so many causes, so many, you really need to focus in what you want to do. You need to focus. You may start initially exploring, and there's nothing wrong with it, but eventually you will have to narrow it down because there's just too many things. I mean, just taking, I don't know, just international criminal law on its own, it's so big. You've got people that specialize in genocidal law, into war crimes, into, I don't know, ICJ issues. And even if it's the Genocide Convention, they will be asking from international criminal lawyers to feed back into their submissions because they need genocidal legal experts. So you're going to have to narrow it down as to what is that you want to do. Yes, so I mean that's the way that I've approached this personally, and through my years, because I was doing legal sessions and helping a lot of young people who wanted to enter their career. I'm saying young in terms of entering the legal field, may not be young in numbers, but they've seen a difference when so it wasn't just my own personal experience, but it's been tested a bit with other councils that they were able to secure cases, or even they decided to, some of them decided and they got a job at the ICC, some others at the ICJ, some other ones in the International Bar Human Rights Committee, some other ones in the Amnesty, United Nations, some of them are practicing. So it's beautiful to see these people that I've met them sometime at the start of their careers. And I hope that it will be the case with you. So I hope this is my own personal reflection, and but I can understand that, you know, and you know, you would have to do this along with with you know, with stretching, or no, not stretching, apologies, that's the wrong word, but strengthening your capabilities, your legal capabilities. And the more you do it, the more you realize how little you know. The more you walk this life, you realize how, you know, how small you become, not in power, but it humbles you. It kind of allows you to touch the feet on the ground. and that, you know, we are all into this together, a homogeneous universe, if I may say so. Yes, so that's about the case study that I wanted to give you to reflect. Now we have, so we have about an hour and something. No, was it now? An hour and maybe an hour and 5 minutes. So if we do, so I think so. I can pause here, and maybe what we can do is take 10 minutes of a comfort break, and then we come back, and then we're going to go through your personal tips. So we can have an hour. Anyone, you share with me where you're practicing, what is that you want to do? Maybe you don't know exactly what you want to do. We can explore that. You know, there is indeed many factors to be involved, but we can do that perhaps. Would that be okay? If I can have thumbs up just to see if you're content to proceed on those bases. Okay, so we're doing then personal tips then. But before we go for the comfort break, there is another thing that perhaps to suggest is that the websites that I gave you the access to within the ICC, but there's all these hybrid courses that you're going to go through. The Law Careers Net as well, that's going to give you access to all these sorts of chambers and the law firms. Create some sort of a vision board. This is something I've done many, many years ago. And a vision board and to write down the dates. So because there will be deadlines, there will be a lot of things that you will come across. So you're going to have to visualize perhaps from, let's say, 2026 as to what you're going to apply. So if you're going to do the list of counsel, but at the same time, I don't know, there is for example, when I was doing the ICC, I was already counsel, going to doing my criminal court, and then I helped. I was applying to amicus curiae that were dealing with the death penalty in the US. So I had to apply for that. So it's about managing time. So because there are going to be many, many dates that you're going to be given and deadlines. And also it may be the case that you want to go straight into national criminal law by applying to the ICC. I know there is a lot of vacancies there, so please check those out as well. And one last point as well is that there was a time I want, and I may become one day a judge at the ICC. So you know, you have to build that from the very start. So there needs to be conscious decisions all the way to be able then to trigger the part that's going to allow you to apply to become a judge. There is the shadowing schemes, even in your home jurisdiction, through the Commonwealth as well, Lawyers Association. I know there is a shadowing scheme through the other countries. So if you've identified, let's say, like myself, you want to be an ICC judge through your country, then you got to work towards it. So this is something, again, is going to be part of your vision. So a vision board always helps, and dates. So that's the final tip. I'm going to let you to have a comfort break, and I will see you in 10 minutes to go through personal stories and personal tips. Hello, Jasper. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all back to discuss um, to discuss perhaps ways of how you can approach your career or the things that can be done. And I do understand that, as we've said and we've seen, it is quite vast. So whoever wants to go first.
Hello.
Hello, Gimri. You're from Ethiopia, is it? Is it? Do I remember correctly?
Yes, Diana, you're right.
Yes.
I'm from
And
Ethiopia,
how
but
is it? How is the weather in Ethiopia? Is it warm now?
I'm originally from Ethiopia, but not now. I'm not in Ethiopia.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Now I am in Sweden. Now I'm in Sweden.
Sweden.
Sweden, yes. I'm here.
Do you speak Swedish?
Inte.
Du
Inte
pratar
bra.
inte
Inte bra.
svenska. Jag kan prata svenska. Min mamma är svensk.
Pyttelite svenska.
Lite svenska. It just happens I speak Swedish. I mean, what's the chance of finding someone who speaks Swedish? Yes, I hope so now, I mean, it's going to get better now in Sweden, isn't it? My auntie just texted me. She says it's going to get a bit, you're waiting now for the summer, midsommarafton, yes?
Yes.
See the sun.
Spring is coming, winter is going. I'm at the
Yes.
northern tip, and it's getting warmer. Getting
Yeah.
warmer.
Okay. No, that's beautiful. Okay, so in Sweden, that's a good jurisdiction actually that you're based. Yeah, go ahead. Tell me, Jimmy. What? Do I pronounce your name correctly? Girmi.
Yeah. That's fine. The jurisdiction part, in fact, I mean, I think I'm supposed to be here legally. Not, I didn't get those documents yet. I'm in a process of acquiring it. I mean, it's conditional. Maybe I will get it or not. So still, I'm a citizen and holder of Ethiopian passport. I came here for education for my master's and proceeded to the other procedures. So still, my jurisdiction could be considered only with the Ethiopian thing, I think, which is we are not a member to the ICC yet.
Yeah.
About what I did, is I used to be. I am a lawyer. I used to work until my coming to Stockholm. I was working as a private advocate. I worked as a private advocate for more than 12 years, I guess. Yes. And then as a private, and before that, I worked as a public prosecutor. And then right before joining the Bureau of Justice and worked as a public prosecutor, I attend postgraduate judicial training. Ethiopia have such a system which looks like a French one, and also some other places before joining legal practice as a judge and a public prosecutor. Students who came straight out of from the law school are supposed to go through a training at a postgraduate certificate level.
Yeah.
And they trained us to be a judge and public prosecutor for 2 years and grant us a certificate titled postgraduate certificate. That's and then a law school degree. That's my professional journey. And then in Stockholm, I learned I studied international operational law and Swedish Defense University. Really an excellent school with with world-class minds in the area, international law. I studied just ARBLM, just IMBE law, international criminal law, and then those peace operation things, and international human rights law.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now after I finished some 5 months ago, and then after that I'm trying to write little papers, trying to participate in opinion juries, for example, and then trying to organize webinars with cooperation. In cooperation with NGOs residing in Ethiopia. And then applying for jobs, applying to ICC. I made already 7 applications to ICC.
What level did you do? Is it P role you're doing?
PV.
No, P role. So when you look at the ICC's jobs, yes, so there is a code. So a lot of them will be a P on the front or a V.
Yeah.
So
P3,
which one did you do? P3 one, yes.
I think most I applied, as I told you, for around 7 jobs for ICC, among other jobs. Assistant positions. Most of them are assistant positions.
Okay,
and the things
so
that you listed.
Okay. Yeah.
Pardon me, Diana. So that's what I'm doing, Diana.
Okay. And so is it my understanding that you wish to work at the ICC then, is it? Is that what you after then?
Yes.
So, okay. And do you still have your practicing certificate up to date in Ethiopia?
I have it, but it should be renewed. It's not renewed, so
that's fine. It's easy to renew, isn't it? Or is it a big process in Ethiopia to renew it?
A bit process. Maybe it requires me to go back, and
oh wow,
which is the trap, another trap. Yeah. So I believe I have a threat for my life and liberty to go back. I don't have to go back.
I mean, I suspected it when you said you're in Sweden and you're waiting for your papers, so the grounds of it. Okay. Is it okay? So, I mean, is it now expired?
Not expired, but it's not real. I can't practice it. It is a breach of discipline as an advocate, for example, to practice in Ethiopia. Without a renewed habit.
Sorry, say it again. Sorry, it's a breach too?
Disciplinary failure. Yes, a breach of disciplinary code, so to say. Yes, to practice without a valid license. I have a license, but without a renewed license.
Yes, I know that. But what I'm saying now is it renewed your license? What you're telling me is that it has not been renewed, is it?
It has not been renewed.
Okay, so now you still need to do the process to renew it, but it's a lengthy process. Okay, I'm asking you this because to apply to the list of councils for the ICC, you need to have a renewed, every year we renew our license, is it? So that needs to be live. Yes, it needs to be a live practicing certificate. Okay. And I mean, even for the okay. And is it just the ICC that you're looking for, or are you open to other roles?
Yeah, I'm open. I'm open to other roles.
Okay, so so you said to me you're doing your postgraduate in Sweden, and I don't know what the process is in Sweden, but maybe what you can do is to do the foreign lawyers qualification. So what you're asking is but then you will still have to liaise with the Ethiopian Bar Association. So what you're going to ask for is to transfer your qualifications from the Ethiopian Bar Association to the Swedish Bar Association as a foreign qualified lawyer. And there may have been a bilateral or some sort of agreement or memorandum of understanding between the two associations. So you're going to have to do some research here and look at the process. I don't know what's your level, your Swedish, but most likely in each jurisdiction, you need to have a good knowledge and fluency in the language. So that may be another factor for you to consider. And then what you can do, you can become a foreign qualified lawyer. And once you've been granted with the correct documents and you are a documented person in Sweden, and then you can start to activate perhaps even your registration in Sweden. But what we want to do on even in this temporary basis is that if you're granted the foreign legal qualification by the Swedish Bar Association by cross-border way, then it will still allow you to apply for the ICC. And what I would also do is to and then go through the chambers and then the different tribunals to do that. And I'm just thinking, do you speak French?
Not yet.
Okay. And I mean, but your English is fluent. So you speak what's the language in Ethiopia?
Medium of instruction was English, but official language is Amharic. My mother tongue is also Amharic.
And I think what's another way for you to perhaps look into the ICC, it's that you will never know, but perhaps what you can do is that they're looking as well for legal translators between Amharic and English. You may want to get the relevant accreditations for that. And that's another thing that you can do. Okay, but if you've got threats to your life, then I presume with the state of Ethiopia, you don't have that great of a, I don't know, maybe you don't want to divulge too much in your personal information here, but yeah, I think that's the way I would approach it actually with your situation. So for legal qualification with the Swedish Bar Association, they take that, apply it to the ICC and the other tribunals whilst you're actively seeking to work either at the ICC or actually, you're going to have to be there because ICC will require most of the time some sort of physical presence, but some of the jobs as well, they are remotely based. So in Sweden, they've got a lot of international based things. So I think you should actively seeking as well in Stockholm. That's another way to do it. But again, you will be an in-house international criminal lawyer, not a practicing one. Yes. I hope that helped and in a way in approaching it. But, you've got my email and anything, just keep me up to date and we can see how things evolve with your paperwork and I don't know if there is any way to give a power of attorney to someone to go and renew the license for you. I don't know if that's another visibility there, because that would just then allow you for 1 year to do the relevant process to all courts, perhaps as external counsel. Do you know what I mean? Like the cost of a chamber, the mechanism, and all that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to do my best. Regarding the license.
That's all we can do, isn't it? So we're just trying our best here, all of us. But you should give it a try, yes.
Okay, Diana. Thank you very much. Thank you, Diana.
No, thank you. And thank you for coming and joining us in this workshop. Yes.
I take note of on a lot of topics. Thank you for that also.
That's good. That's very good.
I will be reading your book also. I will be one of your readers after publishing.
I tell you, my husband is sick and tired of this book. He's like, please publish it. I had enough of it. I don't want to do with that. It's been lingering for too long now. Yes, it needs to get out. Yes. Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
So who's next now? Let me just see if we got any chat. Anything in the chat? I appreciate the personal sharing. Oh, that was from before the comfort break. Okay. Yeah. So anyone who is next to discuss off? I just trying to find. There it is. Yes, sorry. Yes, I can see Shavi's got a hand up. Please unmute yourself and turn on the camera, please. I'm just going to put you on like that. Yeah.
So I've partially already introduced myself.
Yeah.
I'll kind of do that again just for the record. So I am a qualified all international bar licensed lawyer. I have completed my LLM Masters in International Law, specialization in International Criminal Law from NYU. While I was at NYU, I was working with the World Bank. And thereafter, I went to the United Nations Office of Rule of Law, and followed by I entered into the international extradition law practice, mainly the human trafficking and drug trafficking kind of cases. But they are mostly I'm mostly doing the drafting work and not the litigation work. I'm not representing a specific client in the court, but I am just drafting the cases. That's it. And that's the thing. So from past 1 year, I am trying to enter into the international criminal law realm, and I am just not able to crack it because I've applied to tons and tons of millions of I can't even count how many jobs I've applied for. Like, as soon as there is a case, I just approach to especially the defense counsel, because I'm very much interested there as well. So I approach to the defense counsel. I ask if they need any kind of assistance, but unfortunately, I am being recognized for the sake of my knowledge. They just needed a litigation experience. So might as well, some would say might as well go back to your national jurisdiction and have a litigation experience first. But the problem with that is that I really don't even have an internship for criminal law. Now, I do have an experience for international criminal law because while I was working with the Office of Rule of Law, I did, manage the cases. I did check on the investigation value, the evidentiary aspects of, say, the Special Criminal Court of Central African Republic or the Hybrid Court of Democratic Republic of Congo. However, it's not litigation. And so there were two reasons why I was being rejected for most of the applications, and I was seeking feedback rigorously from these teams. And one of them was the language issue. So I started learning French. It's just the beginning of it, but I've started learning French. And the second one is the litigation aspect. The problem with the litigation aspect is not just that I'm not experienced in the national litigation, it's also that somehow, even if I do crack into the national litigation field, I'm just too afraid because I tried doing that in the past, and there's like the national litigation in India is just not safe for girls in general. And I'm saying that not as if like the criminal is going after you or something. It's the sexual harassment that takes place. And so I am scared of going down that road. So I started applying for women lawyers as well, so that I can at least, have a safe company. But unfortunately, the colleagues are mostly male, and it's a male-dominated field, especially in India. So I started practicing international extradition law. The main reason why I entered into international extradition law is to have that 2 years of experience. Unfortunately, fortunately enough, I thought that I would just qualify for the UK one, and I regretted that I should have qualified for the US one. So I qualified for the UK one, but even as a foreign lawyer, you cannot litigate but I applied for a few chambers that were practicing international criminal law or international human rights law, like Doughty Street Chambers, or 9BR Chamber as well. So there are a lot of chambers that have international lawyers, fortunately, in the UK. However, even at present, because there are not enough cases as they cite, they're also not taking lawyers even as mini pupilages, which is like unpaid. So even as an unpaid work, they're not taking international criminal lawyers. What it does is it helps me to get recognized by these chambers, because they're checking my resume, they're seeing me, I'm visible to them. It's just there's just not enough vacancies as such. And so I have noticed, in case anybody wishes to know, there are two major pupilages for international human rights lawyers or international criminal lawyers, or at least public international lawyers in general, which is one is in March and the other one is in September. So I'm applying for the March one, and I'm just hoping to get one opportunity, but unfortunately, it's again and again the same kind of thing. I'm open to other aspects as well. I'm open to other paths, but I think I've planned my way this 1 year and I've miserably failed, I believe. But if you have any suggestion, please, I'm open to that.
Sorry, what internship is this that you applied? Which institution?
Which institution?
You said that there is a fellowship, you said, one starting now in May and another one in September.
No, the pupilages. Like the mini.
Pupillage. Yes, but where?
There are around few chambers.
When you say chambers, do you mean UK British chambers or do you mean in India chambers?
No, UK British chambers.
Okay, which chambers, may I ask, please?
So I've previously applied for, I think, 9BR Chamber and Doughty Street Chamber, and they both weren't hiring for the September intake. I'm again applying for the March one, just in a hope if they are now accepting international criminal lawyers. They pursued my application, but they did not proceeded further because they were having no vacancy for international lawyers. So they were hiring basic criminal lawyers, but not the national criminal lawyers, but not the international lawyers.
Okay, so you want to do mini pupillage, basically like an internship scheme, VAC scheme with chambers, British chambers. I see. Okay.
I'm young. I'm young enough to enter into the young realm, but
absolutely.
Because I know that I cannot have a litigation experience of 2 years if I've just graduated, and it cannot go side by side. So it's just the age limit, but that's absolutely fine.
Okay, so when you say litigation experience, you don't have litigation experience. When you were studying, did you go to a moot court competition, a clinic, a law clinic? Okay, so that will be also litigation.
So can I quote, because I have also I've reached actually the international rounds of even the International Criminal Court moot court competition in The Hague.
That is litigation. So you need to, so let's say, I don't know how old you are, but you just recently graduated. Nobody expects, as soon as you graduate, that you will have the wealth of advocacy or trial experience. But what I would want to see is that during that time, in that environment that allows you to, you have some source of it. So the fact that you've done the moot court competitions or legal clinics, whatever that is, or it could be, in the UK, there is a lot of NGOs that they seek even law students to do some sort of advocacy, for example, through free representation units. So if you've got that, you should put that in advance. But Shavi, you mentioned actually a few points that I want to touch upon. And, I am not here to suggest to anyone that the entire process, it is either fair or it's easy or it's accessible or it's beautiful all times. No, it's not. it comes with a lot of edges and very sharpy corners. And, international criminal law, as you said, is a very male-dominated profession. So I do feel that women as well, that we have that additional barrier to overcome. And especially for women that we want to have children in the future, or even the man as well, that they want to have children. But it just naturally, perhaps by default, the mother becomes the parent by default. So it just rests on her. So those are additional things. This is the things that I said earlier, the personal circumstances. What I would tell you then, just to keep it practical, yes, and then I'm happy to have this conversation personally and to hear your stories about it. And I know how frustrating it can be. I will tell you this, and this is the way that I've approached it myself. And I said it earlier, is that law firms and chambers, they are business. Even international criminal law, it is a business. Yes. So you may found from within you that there is this beautiful cause, but for them it's business. So it's what you bring on the table, who you are, why you want this, and why do you think, not that you're good at it, not that you're extraordinary, something beyond extraordinary. And actually, this is a question they asked me once in an interview for me to get my tenancy. So being good is not enough. Being excellent is not even good enough. They wanted something beyond that. But what does it mean beyond that? What does it mean excellence beyond that? For me, is to be true to yourself. Being true to yourself and to not be dictated by the circumstances. So Shavi, my dear Shavi, now what's happening is that there's all those factors around you, and you maybe feel that you're drowning from within it because of the rejections. Do not drown. Rise above it, get a floating something, yes, and give your moment a pause, yes, and let's look at this objectively. What is that you want to do? What do you want to see yourself in 2-3 years' time? Is it down to street chambers? Is it matrix chambers? Is it Blackstone chambers? Is it 20 years ex-court chambers? Is it the ICC, ICJ, the Hague Academy? Where is that you want to see yourself? Is it self-employed? Is it an employed barrister? I don't know, practicing in India. You want to be the Prime Minister of India. It is endless, the things that you have by being an international criminal lawyer, because it gives you a wide connection worldwide. So what is that you want to do? You need to, it's such a huge, vast thing. So you need to have a clarity. So if I may ask you first, where do you see yourself in 2 years? And to focus that energy into doing that. And once we do that, that's my first question. And the second question is...
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I'm listening to you. I'm listening to both the questions. I'm just connecting my charger, if that's okay.
Yes, of course. And the second question is that whilst we channel that energy into doing something, you're going to have to find your unique selling point. And I think all of you have to do that, especially if you would enter the international criminal career. And I think that only happens when one embraces who they are, with all the, with everything that comes with it. And the reality is that no one is perfect. And also what you will be surprised is that, we're all humans. We all get tired. We all get cranky sometimes. And I tell you one story here before Shavi says answers to my questions. I was once defending a case. It was 2 charges, the magistrate's court, and there was actually, the prosecutor was 55 years old. She just qualified. She had 3 kids, and she just qualified. And it was actually, I think, maybe her second case. And there was issue with disclosure and admissibility. And I took an issue about it. And I've asked that, those not to be admissible in court, and therefore there's no prima facie case. And the judge had a go at her. And so I said to her, you need to get your ducks in a row. So therefore, I will, will give you, 10 minutes to call the CPS, Crown Prosecution Service, and, please tell the court what's happening. So she came out and she started crying. And so I said to her, let's go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. I said to her, do you need a hug? She said, yes. So I gave her a hug. I said to her, let's go to the CPS room. I need you to find out what the judge said. So she did that. She came back. She told the judge what she had to tell. She lost the case. I won the case. We came out of it. And she thanked me. And this particular prosecutor, after that, we had many cases together. But because of that moment, and because, it's, when you, as I said, when we just see it, you have the qualifications, you have the knowledge, you do the work. But when you start connecting with people, people will want you. And we've done a lot of cases, and she referred me to so many things, and she became a brilliant criminal lawyer. But we all have our weaknesses, and we all have, even myself, there were days I left from court and I was like, oh my Lord, what just happened? I missed that section of the act, or my submissions could have been a bit better, or I don't know, I was too weak, or I needed a coffee. It's just things that happen, or you're tired to hear. I don't know, they say, I had once a client who was speaking for 5 hours in a cell in the dungeons of the Inner London Magistrates Court. So I will leave that there. But what I'm trying to say is that this is a very involved area of law, and and I think that in this process, in you trying to work somewhere, you would also want to seek to connect with people. And how do we do that? There is all these opportunities, and India is such a predominant now country. There is a lot of things happening. They're seeking into alliances and things, and also bad things. I mean, there's huge human right violations, and there is a lot of issues there. So find something to associate with yourself with it, and fight for it. You will always be visible if you fight for it, if you're driven with that. Now, if you can please answer to me the first question I've asked you. I mean, where do you see yourself in 2 years?
So I definitely see myself at the ICC.
Okay.
And I know this is like an ambitious, like an
Not at
extremely
all.
ambitious.
No. You know what? I'm going to be the next president of Cyprus. I'm running for politics now here in Cyprus. Most likely, I will be elected MEP by May 2026. I'm setting up a truth commission. If you drive for it, there's no end to it. But do it always for the people. If you start from there is no end to it. So do not tell me about ambition. It doesn't apply here. You should go as far as your heart desires when you serve for the others, when you become service to the others. So ICC, yes. Okay, yes. I mean, ICC, I mean, there's one thing I said to Gimri as well about the ICC. They have so many vacancies. Did you apply for it?
I did. Unfortunately, ICC is not looking for P1 positions. They were looking for P1 positions last year. I did that as well. They're only looking for P2 positions for now, which requires 2 years of experience. I did apply to those as well. But yeah, I think few of the decisions are still pending, and I'm still waiting on them. I did not apply for the internships though, because I don't think that I would have the financial bandwidth for that. For example, mini pupilages are only for like a month at max, but like an internship is going to be for like 6 months, and something which I might not be able to financially sustain for. And so I avoided applying to the internships.
Yeah, and I mean that's another issue. It's about financial sustainability at the same time whilst we're pursuing all these things. That's a huge factor sometimes. I mean, most of the times. Yes, I mean, I can see there are, apart from the vacancies, there are the latest internships visiting professionals, a legal professional program. And since you want to be at the ICC, I mean, I would look. So there is quite a few of them. The deadlines are in December 2026.
Yes.
Did you apply to those ones? Are those the ones you're referring to?
The internships one, yeah.
Yes.
But what I've applied for, no, but what I have applied for are the P2 positions. Unfortunately, ICC does not publish P1 positions anymore. It's the rarest of the rare case scenarios that they publish the P1s.
Yeah. I think the way I mean, you would, so when you say that they see you, the applications, but you don't go through, I think there is a different set of visibility that requires here. And that visibility, because the international criminal law community is rather small. Yes, so sometimes it's the same people over again because there is the trust that you build upon the person, and with the interns as well. So I get to see the same interns from one team to be dissolved, and they go to a different team, whether it's defense, whether it's victims, and all that. So I think what you want to do, first of all, there are events that are organized by the ICC, so you want to look into those. Go to the ICCBA, the International Criminal Court Bar Association, and there is many things that they do there which actually can give you access to it and give you visibility. And India is not a Rome Statute country, so maybe it could be the case that you advocate for it to become one, and why it should become one. So maybe you can be the person who liaises between the government and the ICC to do that.
About India not being a party to the Rome Statute, that's absolutely fine. But kind of there are still commotions because of India being internationally involved into a lot of things. For example, there was a Sheikh Hasina case in Bangladesh. It was by the hybrid International National Court of Bangladesh. And it was between like India and Bangladesh. It was trying Sheikh Hasina for the war crimes committed. It's not related to the ICC, but it's another international court. I applied there. I got selected. I qualified for the interviews. I got selected, and the case was over in a day. So even there, I was so like that's how my destiny was. My luck was that even when I got selected, the judges decided that we are going to announce the decision, and so I didn't actually get to go there.
Yeah. But you should keep trying, and then maybe secure something domestically. So you start building upon your domestic litigation, even if it's not crime, for things for matter of safety. But ICL would require you to have some sort of advocacy. So I think you should be aiming for that at the same time whilst you're pursuing. So at the start, it's going to have to be simultaneous endeavors. So the one that you're building, conceptualizing international profile, but there is something on the ground that you keep working, you keep practicing, you keep working on yourself. Otherwise, you may find yourself that you're just sitting there waiting and nothing is happening. And that's another aspect, that's another reality of ICL. Yes. So, and everything that we mentioned, I think you should give it a try and do the research that it's been recommended. But, all the best. And are you qualified in India? Yes, you are qualified. Yes. Yeah, so you can apply it to the list as well, isn't it? And I think you asked the question in the chat box, isn't it? You're the one who asked for it. That you don't have litigation experience, if you can still apply for assistant to counsel. I think with the experience that you have, I think you should give it a try. Yeah, and try to extract as much as you can from it. You give it a try. If they reject it, they reject it. If not, well, you never know. And that will automatically give you the right to go to the ICCBA. You can be an elected member of the ICCBA then, so it would open doors from there on. So you become literally visible on that point onwards. Yep.
Hopefully. Just one last thing.
Yes.
Just one last thing. Even before this seminar, I sent you a LinkedIn request. If you could please accept that. Even before this, so it might be an old request, but
which one? Request, LinkedIn request.
Yeah, connection LinkedIn.
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I will accept all of them. I just didn't get a chance to go in my LinkedIn since I don't know when. So once I go into LinkedIn, I will accept all of you. So whoever sends me a LinkedIn request, please rest assured that I just accept. I'm generally the person that accepts all requests all the time. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Shai, for sharing, and I understand the frustration that comes with it. That's the thing. it's an area that it tests you in so many ways before you enter into, and I think that there is a reason for that, because it's such a, it takes a lot from you. So I think it tests you before you go into that, just to make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, because otherwise I don't think if it's not for the right reasons, then you won't last too long in that process. It really needs to be something that it drives you from within to continue doing it. I mean, when I was doing as I said, the Sudan case, I just didn't wait for anyone. I was 26 and I said, I'm just going to help these people, man. They need to have a voice. There is the case there. We need to submit it. And, along the way, you get to meet the people. And the reality is that once I had victims wanting me to represent them, they didn't want anyone else. They wanted me. It was Diana Constantinide. And they wouldn't accept anyone else. That's when I became visible as well to Chambers, because I had then an international criminal case on me of victims that had trusted me. And that's how, do you see how it's an unorthodox way? And that's how I end up having actually 2 tenancy propositions from 2 different sets of chambers, because of that, and because of the networking, which was actually lawyers networking events. And if I may say something about perseverance and persistence, so I did a shadowing program with judges, but before that, there is this English and CIFRA days with the Bar Association of those 2 countries. And so there were 2 judges, actually, recorders. So recorders is a part-time judge. They do like 30 days a year, but they also prosecute or defend accordingly. So they do a bit of everything. And so I've met this one judge, and I said to him, I want to shadow you. Yes, he gave me his card. I've emailed him once. He didn't respond. I sent him a reminder. He didn't respond. I sent him another reminder. He didn't respond. I see him in an event. So I remember that, and I remember that, I saw him at an event and I did my hand like that. So I walked towards him and I said to him, you are ignoring me, aren't you? So he felt very bad about it. He said to me, no, I will answer to you. I will answer to you. So we left from that event. I sent him another reminder. He continues to ignore me. And so this is the 3rd event I accidentally see him. So I already had this donkey. So he sees me, but he knows. So he found out from someone else that I got, that I'm actively looking for tenancy. So there's one set of chambers which I knew them because of the work that I was doing. So actually, unanimously, the entire management committee voted in favour, because you need to be voted whether you're going to be admitted as a tenant in chamber. So unanimously, I've been voted yes. And then this judge said that, we're offering you as well tenancy. And I said to him, I don't go to chambers that they ignore me, I said to him. And then he was laughing, which we still have great, I'm still fine with him. We don't have any issues. But that shows you that it doesn't dilute when in aiming for what you're trying to do. You can do so respectfully, but it doesn't mean you dilute your interest in what you do. So let's say someone is ignoring you. There is nothing wrong in stating the mere fact that you are ignoring me. I've emailed you a number of times, and stating the obvious. What that shows is that you're standing on your grounds, because if you can't advocate for yourself, how can you advocate for someone else? So this is all the silent thoughts that everybody makes in determined, because there is the art of observation that I believe not just the pupillage committee does, but when you do go there, and even if they do know you from before, what it does, it connects the dots. And you will be surprised at the pupillage committee when you go and you apply for pupillage or for any interview, that there is a deep examination of everything you do and everything that you don't do. I didn't sit in any of those committees, but I've been asked to. I attended numerous of, preparing pupils for the interviews and the process, and asking the questions and providing feedback and how they did it and all that. But there is nothing more beautiful than someone who is who has accepted themselves and knows the strength and the weaknesses, and they are unapologetic about it, but at the same time doing the best to be the better version of them. And that's the balance that someone seeks. And of course, I'm not by any chance saying that, of course there needs the qualifications and the legal knowledge, but we're talking about that a bit extra when it comes into pupillage. So that, and of course the element of being a woman criminal lawyer. But again, that's an entire different topic for another time. Yes. Let me check what's the time.
Thank you so much. And that
No.
advice that the victim wants you to represent is like a good advice. That is such a good advice. So I might as well.
Yes, you don't wait for anyone. If you feel the need that you need to represent, if you've got the right paperwork, you don't need an NGO, you don't need someone. You can do it yourself with, if it comes with, you need to do your research. But I mean, as a Cyprus lawyer, I didn't need any further. I was in the list, I was qualified, so I went for it. Although I had very little, I had non-experience. And that's why I said later on, said Desmond de Silva was the one who kind of mentored me. Mark Clooney came along the way, and then Natalie von Wangenhausen. And I had to leave because I was pregnant to my second daughter, gave birth to the first one. So as you can see, it was busy times, doing all sorts of things, being an international criminal lawyer, pregnant and giving birth. And I remember, I think, when we're having the meetings with Mark Clooney, she was very kind. I was breastfeeding, and she was very pro breastfeeding, and she was fine with it. And it's these things that we got to stand up for each other as women, because we do share these common experiences. But I had a beautiful experience with a woman that I worked with, and that gives me not just courage, but it allows me now to pass that on to the next generation because of the example they led the case with. Not just the way they did it and conducted it, but also as humans that we are. And I think that's equally important. So Shavi, thank you very much for sharing your story. Is there anyone else that wants to share the story? I'm just mindful of the time.
Diana, Shanna has her hand up.
Yes, hello, Shanna.
Yes, hello, Diana. It's going to be really quick for me since I know you're conscious of the time. My question is going to be rather practical, and it's going to be a combination of Girme and Charvi's experiences as well. But just a brief background on myself. I'm qualified as a lawyer in the Philippines, but I am a dual citizen of Philippines and Canada. And in terms of language skills, I can speak German, and I'm studying my B levels French at the moment. And the reality of international law or pursuing a career in international law is that it can be quite costly. And so I really wanted to ask you about more conscious decisions for me moving forward, because I do want to build a more strengthened profile. And so my first question is, do you think it's beneficial or cost effective if one pursues a master's of law, an advanced master's degree in public international law or international criminal law or international humanitarian law? Or would it be more advisable to really focus on the experiences and the skills, like working at a domestic level, because I also work in government and I have training in both the prosecution service and in courts. So I really want to make sure that my next steps are more deliberate and that they don't cost as much, and that they would also have a bigger return on investment moving forward.
No, absolutely. And that's a valid point, actually, with masters. So I know that United Nations and certain positions, they do require masters, and you will see that in the job description. But it exists more in a lacuna. It's like a very abstract form. So there isn't that specific requirement, if I may say so. And like when it comes into practicing international criminal law, litigation, advocacy, and all that, it is inextricably, it is part of it. So I would always, I'm a firm believer of experience or of writing articles whereby you're able to become an expert in that sense, because you already got your qualifications. What you do, you delve into it. Now, do I need that recognition from a university? I think that's a personal question. Whether you need it or not, or whether it's a particular job that you're seeking for. But I am in favor of experience. I am in favor of writing articles, doing your research, and what I feel nowadays is that because nobody really knows what's the right way forward. There's so many gaps in international criminal law. So this is my personal take on this, is that you go and there's so much information given to you, the bibliography, which is nothing wrong with it, but we want a fresh mind, a fresh start to see the way. So through practice, through observation of international criminal law, how can we address those issues? So I think maybe we had enough of the bibliography and everyone talking in a theoretical context. Perhaps it is more time to, through observation, through practice, to come with solutions, with ways of how it's going to work. I would have found that a lot more valuable. I would be, as an international criminal lawyer, I would want to see you, I would want to meet you and to find those solutions. For me personally, because I did masters, but I did masters straight after I graduated from law school. And I'm very grateful. My father paid for it, and I'm very grateful for my father. And I thank him so much. But the reality is that if I had to pay for myself, I may have thought it a lot more. Yes, I would. And with all the cost that comes with it. The only benefit that it gave me is that it allowed me to teach in university as an assistant lecturer. So it gave me access to that. And I did it very early on in my career, so I didn't even utilize the network that the university provides, which is another thing. But I think if you're already practicing, you would already have that sort of network in practice. So I'm giving you the options here in favor and against it, and it depends on how I think you're gonna pursue it. May I ask, do you have dependents on you? I mean, do you have children or?
No, I do not have dependents. And actually, it's great that you raised the bit about networking because it is an incredibly big deal. And I met someone at an open house event for Leiden University where she also shared that she was able to network through her course. And now she's working as a special counsel for the ICC. And that's why I also wanted to factor that in. I'm just
Yes.
thinking about what path would lead me to not just it being cost effective, but also having a wider network and a wider group of people that I can connect with. And also, in addition to the options, I wanted to ask do you think it would also be better for me to get a qualification to be cross-qualified in Canada since I am already a citizen of that country?
I mean, you mentioned Leiden University, which of course is somehow a leading university institution when it comes into international law, international criminal, public law, humanitarian law. And I mean, I'm very grateful because Leiden has been very helpful with my book as well. They're willing to present it, so it's they're very on it. So I think the point that you're making about the networking, it's great. But again, I think it's how you decide to lead all this, because there's so many things that you can do. You can get lost into the idea of I'm going to go to the university, I'm going to study, and you only study, but you don't do the networking. And it's how you do the networking, it's how you utilize that, how far you take it. So it doesn't mean just because you go to university and you do your postgraduate, it automatically will give you the job. Possibly, it may do. Does it increase your chances? It may well be because you've got the similar-minded people doing international criminal law, but at the same time, all these people, they're pursuing the same thing with you, and perhaps in the same direction.
Yes.
So, and how do you enter this field? It's by being a bit different at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's why it's like you got to find the ways to do that. So if you would do the masters, which is going to be 1 year, and it's going to cost you at least, I don't know, £20,000. That's if you make a reserved life at the same time. What is that going to give you in return? You know what I mean? Would that give you a job? And I mean, let's say you get an ICC job, which is a P2, which is 45,000 euros per month. So, and that's if you get it straight away. If you don't get it straight away, so you're in debt to that. So I'm thinking now, are you going to borrow money? Is it from your savings? Because there is that return, but you got to consider all those factors. I would, because then there is the part of interest, and I mean, as a woman, as a wife, we're thinking about having children, so that would take us not. I naturally, when I had a very difficult pregnancy, so I stepped down from my career, and it was very, for me, a bit painful because it was on the peak of the Sudan case. So there is this constant, especially for women, that we give birth and the pregnancy, which is such a huge thing. That's another factor that I always want to share as well with, especially women that you want to go is, naturally, biologically, you're going to take a step back. So that means even if you do it, there is that thing, that element as well. And I mentioned about the academia as well, Shanice, is that there is that bit, that the backslide as well of the academia with the ICJ as well, that you don't even need to be a practicing lawyer, but you already are. So, okay, that's about the masters. And the cross-qualification. I mean, why would you want to cross-qualify in Canada?
I think because, admittedly, depending on the job that you or your occupation in the Philippines, the pay can be significantly lower, even for junior associates, for example, in the Philippines. And I think just from a practical or more financial aspect of it, it would be significantly beneficial financially if I were to also practice in Canada. And that can also, in turn, add to my litigation experience. And so there's lots of different pathways, I suppose.
Okay, so yes, it may well be if it opens so many doors. But I know it's quite from my Canadian friends, I know it's quite an involved process, isn't it? It's yes, if I remember correctly. Yes, it's quite an involved process. But I guess if I had colleagues that they've done the bar and masters at the same time. Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, actually.
You're a strong woman.
Yes. And actually, I was so inspired by what you had said about running for president. And I was thinking to myself, maybe the fourth option would be to run for president of the Philippines. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, do it. Why not? Why not? Do it.
Yeah, actually, but in terms of the master's and the dual certified or qualified lawyer, I am thinking of doing the same because there's always an option to do your master's of law in Canada. So that can also be one of the pathways. But of course, when I look into international law universities, of course, the top ones would be located in Europe, Leiden being one of them, and then there are a couple as well in Germany and in Sweden. So.
But that's the oxymoron, actually, which I just want to highlight, that it's all the top universities or the institutions that are based in Europe or mainly Europe, but the situations and the knowledge that we need to gather, it's from all these other jurisdictions.
Right.
So, for example, Philippines, I would want to speak to someone who's in Philippines, has a good understanding, who's it's involved with international criminal law. So it's always this idea about it's in Europe, but at the same time, it's not actually in Europe. It's because we don't have situations in Europe. There's just Ukraine now, which is not even part of the European Union. Do you understand the oxymoron here? So I think that's why I said about embracing the authenticity, because being in the international criminal law, but with the backgrounds that you have, I believe that if you exemplify that and if you strengthen that even further, it will benefit and they would want you, especially. I think there is a situation, isn't it, Philippines in, I think there is, who said it? I think it's on the chat that said there is a stage of confirmation of charges now.
Yes, with our former president.
My president, yes. I didn't, to be honest, I didn't deal with Philippines. I just know briefly that in the Bar Human Rights Committee that there's some violations, human rights violations, but I don't know much about it. What is it about? Is it crimes against humanity?
Yes, crimes against humanity. For his war on drugs campaign.
Sorry?
For his war on drugs campaign.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So not war crimes and not genocide. They're just crimes against humanity. Yes, because of the systematic and widespread attack. I see. Okay. So good luck if you're going to do both the bar and the masters. I really want you to text me once you've done all this and that you're sane and you're one piece.
Yes.
To be honest, I had a friend of mine. She did PhD. A few of them they did PhDs, and I was helping one of them to do the viva. Do you know you got to present and to fight for your thesis, isn't it?
Yes.
And then so I was speaking to them, and they explained because you invest so much and the time and the reading that you're doing is so intense, and they got the PhD fogginess. So I think there should be an equivalent one when you do the bar and masters at the same time. There should be something equivalent to that, absolutely. So you're going to have the bar master fogginess. I'm going to text you, find out if you're okay.
Yes. I will let you know. So thank you so much for the invaluable advice.
No, thank you so much, Anna. Thank you. And I'm just checking the time. Do we have time for one more? Or I think it's coming to an end now. It's coming to an end, and I want to thank you, all of you, that you've been here. And please connect with me. Any part of the world that you are, I truly believe that international criminal law, the rule of law, accountability, and transparency, those are the principles that it unites us in different parts of the world to make sure that those are the ones who shine. And just, whatever you do, you're on the front lines already fighting for these values. So keep doing it. And it is literally a fight, because I think the time and the new world order that we're experiencing, it's rising. We've got to fight for those values. It appears to be the case, actually. So I wish you strength. I wish you unity. I wish that we keep on going. And it's a promise that I make to all of you that, at least from my end, I will keep on going no matter what. I wish you all the best. Take care, all of you. Hearts.
Thank you,
Thank you
Diana.
very much.
Thank you all. Thank you.
To the participants, could you please just wait, because we are going to take a screenshot of all of you. I will let Elma just give out the instruction.
Okay, if everyone can please turn on their cams. And we're just one screen, so I'll be taking consecutive shots. Give everyone 5 more seconds. Okay, there we go. So screenshotting in 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's have one more. And then 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're good.
Thank you all. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.